Hello, welcome to the Play Ratings. Today, Lou and I will be discussing what I would describe as a perfect away performance at Villa Park as Palace defeated Aston Villa 3-0. Again, we're on the road to 10,000 subs. Really appreciate everyone's support, comments, likes, etc. So again, please keep up the great work. We really appreciate it. Let's get into it. Lou, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, man. It's a deadline day. Um, we're waiting to see what happens. So yeah, it's a bit of a tense day. I just want it to be over. I want to come out the other side positive, but yeah, I can't remember a game where the only two negatives were the two niggling injuries potentially from Sarr and Wharton, especially Wharton because it was a adductor and just the way he went down. Sarr's can be a bit. He looked quite in good spirits after Sarr, so
Yeah.
don't know if it was like a intense cramp or pulled hamstring. But yeah, that was the most complete performance you'll probably see away from home in the Premier League. Just showed the difference in in styles as well. Just they just have no clue on how to break us down. And even Glasner spoke about it before the game about Emery and Villa like to set traps, and if you're late to the trap, they can punish you. But if not, then you get a lot of joy, which I think we clearly did, and it could have been more than three if we were not even a bit more because we scored off like three goals off about four on target, but we got into some really dangerous positions. I think
Yeah.
we could have punished them a little bit more in the first half, but yeah, great performance.
Yes, I popped on the screen already. I'm so excited to talk about the kind of a breakdown. So obviously Villa set up in their traditional 4-2-3-1, Arsenal 3-4-2-1. I want to go to Villa first because I told you guys I'd done a Villa preview and the fans were very upset at Emery where he set up and they wanted to see Gassan and Marlon. So funny enough, due to a couple of things, tactics and also injuries, he started Gassan on the left, Marlon on the right, with Rogers in behind Watkins. But what was interesting to me, and I think what was a turning point for me, was their midfield too. Kamara injured,
I
Onana
know.
injured also. Yeah, they're much more physical, mobile. Tielemans and McGinn from the off. I would say the first few minutes it was kind of even, but after that you saw the domination of Wharton and Hughes. So before I get into a Palace, well, go to Palace real quick. Palace set up basically I'll normal back three: Gahey, Lacroix, Richards, Wharton, Hughes coming back from the concussion protocol, brilliant. Wing backs of Mitchell and Munoz and Kamada in the 10. Wow, what a performance! And Saw and then Mateta up front. But your thoughts on how the change in the Villa lineup, not formation, kind of may have hurt them, or what your thoughts on what they did?
Well, first of all, if you haven't got your strongest team against such an organised Palace team, who I think not only technically very good around the pitch, but physically, like we are a big, strong team who you hear Glasner talking about all the time about winning duels. That this team thrives off winning duels high up the pitch, in the middle third, putting their bodies on the line. So if every single player on the other team aren't in sync and don't know where they're meant to be, then they're going to struggle all the time. A bit like Forest, they're a bit more well drilled, hence why it felt like a bit more even. And with Marlon coming in, who hasn't started a game, I don't think, and Gossand, that was a welcome to the Premier League because he
Yeah,
played up against Munoz and Richards, and they just he looked off the pace. He didn't look quick enough. Yeah, so I just think there's a bit of turmoil going on with Villa. That I hear them all complaining about PSR and this and that. Well, if you go and get Rashford on loan and spend 350 grand on his wages, and then you get Asensio on loan and you bring all these players in and you bank on making Champions League, then that's a you problem because
yeah,
some of us don't do that. Bournemouth,
exactly.
us, we go and get these 15 to 25 million pound players, Pino, Saar, Kamada on a free, Munoz 7 million, Richards 10 million, Lacroix 20 million. All these players are from great recruitment. So your overspend is on you, I believe. Yeah, and I just think they came up against a team who they're rallying together. They've won a trophy. They've qualified for Europe. It's just everything's going right. And obviously Glasner, the head honcho, the guy who sets the standard, he's just unbelievable. And we just look unbelievable yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that it was very clear one of our tactics was to press Matty Cash whenever he had the ball. Obviously not Matson. Matson more technical, quicker, etc. I thought Kamada and Mitchell was so good on our left-hand side. We'll get to Kamada individually obviously later, but that was so important. And Morgan Rogers, who I really, really rate, had a awful game. It's like he didn't even play. I know he doesn't normally play as a 10, but he can play as a 10. He obviously is very versatile, can play left side, right side, middle. But and again, I go back to it. That central pairing of Tielemans and McGinn just had got nothing out of playing with against a Wharton Hughes double pivot, which I thought were brilliant. Let's get into the individual. So let's start with Dean Henderson. We both gave him a 9. Really good performance by Henderson. Obviously, he had 4 saves, his 4th clean sheet of the season. I didn't realize. I heard on the commentary, 11th match versus Villa has never lost to them, which is a bit wild. 17 out of 27 passing, 7 out of 17 long ball. It got better because I looked at halftime. His long ball was 2 out of 7, so he improved that as it went on. They had a lot to do, and we talk about him later, a lot to do with Mateta losing duels early, a lot of long balls, but that improved. But 4 very key saves. The first one, we talked about Gassan, a great save, and Gassan around 25 minutes. A shot off his face of Watkins, another really good save. A nice long save on a Tielemans shot, a long range shot, and then a deflected shot that he did a great job on by Rogers in the second half. A good overall performance by him again. With Henderson, it's funny. There'll be matches where he'll do nothing at all, and we'll give him but we'll win the game. And then a game where he'll like Villa, where he'll just make important saves. But out of the 4 saves is a different game. And of course, Villa haven't scored all season, so that could have changed momentum. But good performance by Henderson. Your thoughts on how he did?
Yeah, he was brilliant. I like that we got like a new tactic where it's like we invite the press and there's a little clip into the number 10 into Sarr or Kamada, and that's a tough ball to hit because if you underhit it, it's a transition moment, and if you overhit it, you could end up just giving the ball back to the centre half. So he's definitely improved with that. Goals prevented as well was 1, so that's what you need your goalkeeper to do, is make saves. And the one from Watkins, when they take it flush in the face, you can say it's lucky. To me, it's bravery to be out and big and not worry about taking one in the face. So yeah, brilliant. 9 out of 10, man.
Yeah. Ty Mitchell, both gave him an 8. Your thoughts on Ty? I'll pop up the stats on the individual and how he did.
Obviously some of his crosses could have been better, but to me, it's the fact he's getting in these positions now. And I did say that was my prediction before the start of the season, was Ty was going to go to another level, and I feel like there's a confidence instilled in him this season. I saw him taking on Matty Cash as well. I just saw him in those threatening positions. There wasn't any hesitation, and even when he's not crossing the ball, and his ticking over of the ball's got much better. His passes inside. It was clear night and day with Kamada in front of him to when Devaney was in front of him. The confidence to play those balls inside to Wharton. He's just such a secure left wing back. He might not give you the flashiness of like Munoz with the goals and the assists, but listen, I love Ty Mitchell. I don't even know. I haven't seen anyone go past him in a long time. Maybe Neto in the first half against Chelsea, but he just doesn't get beat. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. And to the last minute, he was running in behind. The last minute, he was transitioning the ball. A lot of criticism Ty came in for was getting the ball, turning, just playing it back. To me, he's definitely improving, and he's taking his game to another level.
Yeah, you hit on all the key points. Again, I think the chemistry between him and Kamada is definitely there. But again, just from playing more, obviously you saw with Eze, and I think again defensively, I thought he was very good against Marlon and Cash. He went at Cash. Again, I thought there was definitely a pressing trigger with Cash. A lot of times when the two of them would double team him in the corner to kind of turn the ball over high up the pitch. Stat wise, you can see that he had the most tackles, 6. He had the most crosses, 6. The crosses weren't great, but he tried a really nice. He did a really great switch ball from Lacroix late in the first half that was effective. There was a cross over to Munoz. Stat wise, 29 out of 35, 85% passing, 3 out of 6 tackles, 1 and 2 clearances. But again, overall, I thought Ty played really, really well. His running mate on the other side, wing back Danny Munoz, both gave him an 8. What a performance by Danny. Got stepped on a few times on the hand, on the kicked in the leg by Mings, but overall a great performance. He was very good in helping out on that Watkins shot that was saved by Hendo. He's the one that trying to got back and help defend on that. Most tackles in the match was, well, actually, is it most tackles? I think he did.
No.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, it was actually Ty had 6. Sorry, no, it was Ty.
They both had 6.
4. I was going to say he had. He had right. 20 out of 34 passing, 82%, 57 touches, 4 out of 5 tackles, 1 out of 5 clearances, 8 recoveries, 5 out of 8 ground duels, 1. It was a shame because he had a poor cross after a really nice combination between him and Saar and Wharton. But one of the things that I'll point out is his reaction after the Gahey goal. With his hand on his head. Did you see the replay? Yeah. Everyone's stunned at that goal. But yeah, I thought Danny Munoz had a really good game. But your thoughts on Munoz?
Yeah, if there was one player to represent, do you know what? I can't even say that. The whole team just is brilliant, but his work rate is just fantastic. If him and Ty had brilliant end product, they'd be Champions League players. So for where we are, and I think that's the best we can not hope for, but I don't really see how you could improve on them. I just hope he gets some sort of rest at some point because it's a long season and him playing 50, like he's going away with international duty now. He's going to have to come back and play. It's a lot for him, and I just don't want him to get burnt out. I get nervous when he goes down, thinking, is this the moment? Because he's just so important to how we play, and playing up against that right hand side of Richards, Munoz and Saar is just pure physicality, work rate, speed, and just a willingness to run. And they might not be the most technical players, but I feel like they've definitely improved, and they've definitely got some. What's the word? They've got an understanding between those three.
Yeah.
Because you see that little pattern of play where it goes across to Richards. Munoz hugs the touchline, and then Saar goes in and makes that run in behind. It doesn't always come off. Richards under hits it sometimes. Munoz under hits it sometimes. But at the same time, we have a clear way of playing. And you look at a lot of Premier League teams, they don't have a clear way of playing. And I love the fact that we create similar type chances because it means that it's working. Do you know what I mean?
That's a great point. I remember last year when we were going through that early funk and people were so frustrated the way we were playing. I remember, especially in our group chat, people say, why are you playing? But you know what? You're absolutely right. Everyone can now see, if you understand the game, and that we have a style of play, and that there may be moments in the game, even yesterday, moments in the game where it may not start off right, but what we're trying to do every single game, the pressing triggers, the way that Saar moves, the way that Munoz gets in the box, so the ball's out to Matete, who laid off to Kamada or Saar, how the midfield's going to work, etc. Wharton's, interchanging with Hughes, etc. And it's so great because I used to, as a football, first as a fan, that I played, obviously a purist, and obviously just as a coach, whatever. It's nice to see a style that you can relate to. In the past, we've had so many coaches or managers we've had, and I just hated the style of play. We may have won and done well, but I just didn't like the style. So you're right about that. But
you just take Villa's performance. There was no clear way of building up. There was no
exactly.
The only way they thought they would get joy was a ball over the top, and to me that there wasn't. The amount of times we got wide and got in behind or created space, it shows that our patterns of play work. And when everyone knows their role, this is what happens. And do you remember one of the best teams I think ever was the Pep 100-point team, and they scored the same goal every single time.
Yeah.
Byline, cut back stick.
Goal.
It was Aguero, same goal. The sign of a good team is the ones that can create the great chances, the same ones over and over again, because it's hard to stop.
Yeah, it's a great point. Speaking about right side, I go to Richards next. I actually on rewatch, I had originally gave him an 8.5. I went to a 9 because he played that well. I'll go first. I'll bring out the stat now because I'm actually shocked at it because when I heard it last night. So Richards, Lacroix, and Gay have actually only played together in the Premier League 18 times, and those 18 matches, 10 have been clean sheets.
They lost.
10 clean sheets out of the 18 matches.
That's mad.
That's mad, you know. I mean, it's an absolutely ridiculous stat. I mean, it just goes to show you like you just said, the well-drilled part of the back three and the whole team. But again, Richards very good defensively, I thought, versus Gassan. Gassan had that one shot, but he got hooked at halftime for a reason, and one of the reasons was Chris Richards and Danny Munoz just didn't give him anything. He had lots of headers. I remember he had a great clearance of a corner header. Get a great one-on-one tackle versus Gassan in the 33rd minute. Had another heady clearance. So he had overall 20 out of 32 passing, 50 touches, 4 out of 5 ground duels, 8 clearances, 2 aerial duels, 1. Chris Richards was so good again. The chemistry of those three is amazing, but I thought Richards had a really solid game, as all three of them did. But your thoughts on Richards?
I love Chris Richards. And one thing we've got to give him, his passing has got so much better. So much better. And that's confidence. That's confidence, because you don't get to Bayern Munich or play in the Premier League when you don't have a good level of technical ability. It's just a manager being able to get that out of you. He's an absolute rock. It's a ridiculous team. Sometimes I've got to pinch myself that we've kind of stumbled upon this FA Cup win in Europe, because like, as much as there's flaws with how the clubs run and stuff like this, and there's been lots of noise, like there's some real positives that this is the greatest time to ever be a Palace fan, I think.
And it's not even close. Maxence Lacroix, both gave him a 9. I'll let you go first. I thought a great performance. Your thought on Lacroix?
Watkins didn't get apart from that one chance, which I think probably maybe it wasn't his. I don't know who was. It felt like it was a weird chance that I thought he was offside, and I don't know. He's kind
exactly. It wasn't even him. It was more him, Munoz, a few players around.
Yeah. But it was a great run by Watkins, because he stayed on side. It was a great run.
Movement's very good, always. Yeah.
Watkins has always been really good at that. But other than that, he was just a monster. Like I love how physical he is. Sometimes there was one where he gave a foul away. I think it was in the second half, and he just went through Watkins completely. And to me, that's a good foul, because you're just reminding that striker, listen, you're not going to have it your way. You can have a free kick on the edge of the D, but I'm going to absolutely wipe you out at the same time. And it's like that calm. I think that we always used to, when you were younger, like controlled aggression. So it's not reckless. It's just that desire, everything. He's just rinse and repeat for the back three. I haven't got enough good words to say about these defenders.
Yeah,
they're absolutely horrible to play against. It would be horrible to play against them.
They've made a lot of, and I'll say Lacroix in particular, they've made a lot of very good forward look very, very ordinary on a regular basis. It's scary. Like I said, we've talked about the stat about not losing a game since the Newcastle game, and playing, top 6 sides: Arsenal, Chelsea, Villa, Liverpool. And let's think about it. How many times in those matches has the top striker on that team scored a brace even? I mean, TK had a great game in the Community Shield, but besides that, a lot of the strikers don't get goals. And it's because of players like Lacroix. Yesterday, at halftime, he had misplaced 1 pass. He was 28 at 29. By the end of the match, he misplaced 2 passes. 38 out of 40, 95%. 53 touches. I love the way that we were building the ball from Lacroix to Richards to Gahey, and with Rint to Repeat back the other side. 7 clearances, 2 interceptions. And let's not forget the flicked back header from the long throw Lerma for the assist for the Saar goal. I mean, we talk about the long throw. It finally paid off. A really nice work to play. Again, overall, a brilliant game by Maxence Lacroix. Let's move on to our captain, Mark Gay, both gave him a 10 man of the match performance. Let me pop up the stats on him, and you'll see there 50 out of 56 passing, most successful passes in the match. 69 touches. What else can I add to that? We'll get to the goal obviously in a moment. Let's go through the stats first. Absolutely fantastic at the defensive presence on our left side. Very good versus him and Mitchell on Marlon gave him nothing. Set up the goal, the penalty goal. Brilliant pass into Mateta for the penalty that Kamada drew. I mean, absolutely brilliant ball. Great one-on-one tackle late on in the first half versus Marlon. Excellent defending, I thought, on the 1v1 versus Watkins in the early second half. And then the goal. He starts the play. He drives the ball up the field down the left. It goes down to Mitchell, tries to cross. Pops out to the left edge of the box. Love that right there, Kamada right there to kind of press the defender, pokes it, gets forced to get here. And let me tell you something, man. If that's a striker, you're saying what a goal. But as a defender, and then to hear people like Mateta say he doesn't do that doesn't even shoot in practice. What a goal. Goalie barely moves, Bazard barely moves, side panel of the goal, the celebration. Him saying after the match he did it because he was so tired. The interview after the match was brilliant. I mean, there's so much good to say about it. Quickly stats. 50 out of 56 passes about that. Yeah, he had 69 touches, 3 out of 3 tackles, 1, 4 out of 5 ground duels, 1, 5 clearances. Performance on the field was brilliant. Performance after the match was brilliant. Didn't want to take the acclaim of the crowd when Henderson started to push him to the front. I'm not going to get into transfer stuff. I don't really care right now. But I thought 100% a captain's performance by Mark Gahey yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. But your thoughts on Mark?
I'm happy we're finally singing a song for him because it's been taking a minute. We haven't had a song for him.
Is it the one about the lifting the cup? It is, right?
And the Mark Gay, I want to know how you scored that goal.
Oh yeah, because of the goal. Of course, yeah. My bad, yeah.
But we should have been singing his name 5 years ago. But yeah, I don't really. Every week I talk about Mark the same way. He's just unbelievable. Didn't put foot wrong. Absolute screamer. Loved the celebration, the knee slide. He's respectful. Yeah, he's just no wonder he just leave it at the end of the season. Pick where you want to go.
I've been saying that, Louis. I've been saying it. Listen, we're not, we're recording prior to the end of the transfer window. We don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of murmurings again this morning that he could still go. Again, if you listen to what the man just said, he's so important. You don't have to listen to Glazer. Watch the performances on the pitch. Watch what he does. He's not only a great leader, he's key to how we play defensively and even going forward. I remember D mentioned in the post-match reaction about how much he's involved now in the build-up for going forward. The Fredrikstad game, he's clipping in balls left, right, crosses. He's so important. He can't leave. But again, let's see what happens. Move on to our midfield to Mark Hughes, Man United. Will Hughes, 8 for me, 8.5 from you. I'll go quickly first. I thought he and Wharton did a great job of negating. I mentioned already McGinn and Tielemans. Had some nice interchange balls with Munoz earlier in the game. A good tactical foul. I think that's his third yellow already. Tactical foul on Rodgers, but no yellow. But later on, he gets a yellow card for the foul on Tielemans in the second half. Played 71 minutes, 24 out of 26 passing, 92%, 34 touches, 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, dispossessed 0 times. Very, very good performance. He and Wharton always play well together. But again, yesterday, and he did the same thing. I think, did he come on in the 4-1 game? Remember, and trying to change the game? Did he come on or did he start that game?
That was Lerma that came on.
Oh, it came on, okay, because Hughes wasn't having a great game, exactly. But again,
McGinn was turning him, but he wasn't turning him yesterday.
Exactly, but I thought really good performance by Hughes. What are your thoughts on Hughes?
Yeah, I love he's got that vision, same as Wharton, where he can spread that ball out wide to Munoz without really having to look. He was a battling performance. I was a bit worried when you got a yellow. He was meant to come off, and then Wharton come off, and then because you always know that they're gonna get the other side of him, and he's so tempted to do it. But
yeah.
Unbelievable performance from Hughes.
Sorry about that. His midfield partner, Adam Wharton. I give him 8. You gave me 8.5. You want to go first on how Adam Wharton played? Again, shame he got that some injury, but let's talk about that in a bit. But your thoughts on Wharton?
He just dominated, controlled the ball. He's literally unbelievable. And another one you don't have enough words to say about him. Just that moment in the first half where he receives it on a half turn, shrugs off Tillemans, then just drops the shoulder on McGinn. Unbelievable. Yeah. So hopefully the injury isn't too bad.
He's very key to what we do. It would be a shame for him to be injured. And I'm actually more upset for him with the England. I'm hoping he was more upset that he wouldn't get to play for England than the injury being a long-term thing, because he deserves that opportunity with Tuchel. And there are more windows coming up, but, who knows what can happen in the future. So hopefully it's not that bad. Stat-wise, 29 out of 33, 88%, one successful dribble, 39 touches, 5 recoveries, one ground duel, 1. But you're right, just the way he gets the ball on a half turn so many times, there may not be space in a midfield, but Wharton creates it with the way that he body fakes and turns, and again his vision. He's pre-oriented to already know what he's going to do when he gets the passes, gets the ball out wide, gets the ball to a midfield partner, may get it out to wide to Mitchell or Munoz. Just a very good performance by. I thought Wharton was really, really good yesterday. Again, let's hope that injury isn't too bad. Let's go to Ismaila Sarr first. 8.5 from me, 8.5 from you. Your thoughts on Sarr's performance yesterday?
Yeah, it was really good from Sarr. Typical Sarr performance, endless running. Again, scored again against Villa and scored from a long throw. Hopefully it's just cramp or it's nothing too serious. Just a nightmare all game. Yeah, just typical Sarr performance.
Yeah. Stat-wise, real quick, he actually did had an excellent pass. Usually, the one thing that lets him down is his passing. It's just because that when he gets the ball, he's obviously going towards goal. So a pass isn't the first thing in his mind. But 17 out of 22 passing, 77%, 35 touches, which is quite a lot for him. Dispossessed 3 times, but he had 2 headed clearances, 5 recoveries, 1 interception, 2 out of 2 aerial duels, 1. Obviously, the highlight is the goal at the back post. Really, really well done set piece with the long throw to flick on him at the back post. What made me really laugh was the fact that he did get hit by Bazat, but to him to stay down, and then the ref's calling on the physio, then he just gets up and runs over to the crowd and does the point. That was so funny. And then the interview with him and Mateta after was brilliant. I don't think he really likes to do interviews, but he's got a great personality. You can tell he's definitely
definitely.
He's got I think English is a bit of a problem still. That he speaks it, but you can tell he doesn't really want to do interviews, even like in the Palace stuff. But got a great personality. Him and Teta get along really well, and I thought he played really, really well. A threat all day versus Matson. Matson is much more of an attacking fullback than he is defensive, and I think Sarr gave him a lot of trouble. Third goal of the season, and you just said, I think that was his. I had the stat somewhere, but I think that's his 8th goal versus Villa in like 11 matches, which is absolutely mad. The other 10, Daichi Kamada, both gave him a 9. Fantastic by Daichi, but you go first while I pop up the stat on him about duels 1.
Yeah, because he originally came as a 10, and he ended up having some unbelievable games next to Wharton, and we all thought like that was his. Okay, maybe this is the position that he's going to play. And then yesterday, he just put on a perfect performance in terms of playing forward, getting in the right areas, winning the penalty. Obviously, he got the second assist from Mark as well with that interception. Tireless running, selfish running, calm on the ball, hardly really lost the ball. Look, Jules won the most in the team. The perfect performance for that role. Listen, who knew that if you gave someone time, they'd adjust and flourish.
Yeah. So, listen, you've spoken about positional versatility, and T has a lot, and he has it. You're right. He came as a 10. It didn't work out right away, but we had Ebbs and we had Sarr. But give him time. And I've always been an advocate of not only giving players time, but just knowing that the guy can play. The guy has played in, he played for his national team. He scored goals for Japan. He's played in Eintracht. He won the Europa League with Glasner. He is a very versatile player. He was so good on that run to the FA Cup final the semi and obviously the final. But he can play as a 10. I know people say, "Oh, he can't play 10, play him as a 6." But just give it time and again. But players are not robots; they're going to have up and down performances. And again, just give. I thought Kamada was so good. And I think that it's just that our fan base just sometimes gets carried away with thinking about if a guy has a bad performance right away or he's not any good. Well, this guy can play. I thought it was brilliant to win the penalty. Great ball by Mateta, by the way. Matty Cash almost broke his. I don't know how Matty Cash does not get you a red card on that tackle on Kamada. Also, by the way, that was a vicious tackle, ridiculous, really. Again, I mentioned the pressing by him and Mitchell that really helped. Again, you mentioned the poke, the little poke to make the tackle for Gehu's goal. Stat wise, 32 out of 36 passing, 89%. He was the most foul player in the match. 6 passes into the final third, 2 out of 3 tackles, 4 recoveries, 7 out of 11 ground duels. He could have been my man in the match. I might have given it to him. I gave it to Mark. Obviously, we gave it to Mark because of the goal and the captain performance and the stuff surrounding him. But I think right behind Mark would have been Daichi. Brilliant performance yesterday. Thought he played really, really well. A last starter, Jean-Philippe Mateta. I gave him an 8. He gave him an 8.5. Very slow slot for JP. And you were right in saying that he was having a hard time in our group chat in holding the ball up. But once that came, he was really good. I think from the penalty on when he helped set it up and then scoring it. And by the way, I love the fact that he went to the other side for a change. He goes right. Maybe Bazat knew that. Once you go to the other side and the goalie goes, it looks so good. But it was a very low penalty. If he goes to that side, he's going to save that. But again, if you send the goalie the wrong way, it's done. The yellow card for kicking the flag is hilarious. But I will say that normally he kicks the flag like mid to top and it doesn't fly out. Yeah, I think if you kick the flag and you just destroy it and you put it back in there, you're going to get a yellow card. I don't think Atwell is a very astute referee. He should know he does it all the time and just say to him, warn him. A yellow card was mad, but anyway, and you could tell JP was mad about getting the.
Jesus, right to the box here.
Is that you?
Yeah, that was it.
But stat wise, 7 out of 12 passing, 1 shot, 1 goal. The penalty, obviously, we're very well defensive work, 3 clearances, 2 recoveries. JP again, he's working really hard. You can tell at the end of that match, he did come off a little bit at the end, right? Because we subbed him off, but we need to get a forward in there to give him a rest, either an entire match or at least for 25, 30. But I thought JP was very good. Your thoughts on JP?
Yeah, definitely. My problem wasn't with JP at the start. He was getting in the complete right positions and his ideas were right. It just wasn't sticking. But I saw if it was going to stick, there was going to be moments where we were going to be in. And it was just like a little slightly misplaced pass or just not holding on to it. But it was difficult. It's the Premier League, the game's blood and thunder for the first 5-10 minutes. So it's tough. But I knew we would get joy if he held it up. And as soon as he did and played a pass and won the penalty, it was just, his performance just got better and better. Definitely tired out to the end. Nketiah needs to come back ASAP. We need him to come on for JP in the last 20 to 30 minutes and play other games. So, brilliant from JP. Got his goal. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
Or sign a player. Never. I'll get that later on. Jefferson Lerma, both game of 7. Great performance for him. We talked about his passing yesterday, 10 out of 11. Only misplaced 1 pass, so have that. 20 touches, 1 out of 3 ground duels, 1. But his biggest contribution, obviously, there were 2. The long throw for the goal by Sarr and the brilliant ball by the player we're going to talk to next by Pino. And he puts Lerma in for that shot and he doesn't score. If he scores, what a debut for Pino, which is great anyway. But I thought Jefferson came on, did really, really well, helped with the clean sheet, helped all along. But your thoughts on Jefferson Lerma?
Yeah, he was. He's a great player to have to come on. There was a moment where he played one of those an easy ball that he could have put Mateta in for or someone in for, and he just overhit it, ballooned it.
That was the only misplaced pass, exactly.
Yeah. But coming on and being a battler and great in the air and long throws and energy, he's a great player to have in the team. He can cover 2 positions, or left centre back, right centre back, and centre mid. He's a perfect squad player. And just decent, good performance coming on. Saw out the game and helped contribute to a 3rd goal. He's got to score though, man. He's got to score.
Yeah, I agree on that. And he should have scored because this man put him in. Jeremy Pino, both gave him an 8. What a debut. 19 plus minutes with the 7 minutes, 25 minutes he played. Brilliant. Your thoughts on Pino?
Oh, sometimes you look at a player and you're like, okay, this he is him. He is obviously Eze for us was completely unbelievable. He won us the FA Cup, but this is someone who's just as talented, and I loved his work rate. He was tracking back. He was winning balls. He was winning duels. He was tackling. He looked like he knew exactly how to play straight away. And he's quick and he's strong and he's agile. And there was even one where he jumps in for a header at like 5'7" and just
like the first play was that. Yeah, exactly. It was mad.
He looks like he could be like huge for us. What a signing.
Yeah. As debuts go as sub, it doesn't get much better. Obviously, Edouard's 2 goals against Spurs would be standout. But you're right, he's coming in for a player I will never ever have a bad word to say about an Eze as far as his performance. But you can tell that whoever scouted this player and earmarked him for Palace was spot on. He's got all the attributes that Glasgow needs. Technically very good, work rate there, vision there. There's everything there. I mean, you can, in a 25-minute camera, you see what the future could hold with him. I'm so looking forward to seeing him play more. I'll throw out some basic stats: 13 out of 14 passing, 90%. 2 chances created, 2 out of 2 tackling, 4 out of 7 ground duels, 1 chance created, 1 for Lerma. I thought he was so good. And if you have a chance, go look at the really quick on Palace TV. They have like a 1.5 minute like little comp on his highlights. It's very, very exciting to have a play like that on our books. Real quick, Nathaniel Klein, basic 6, came in at right wing back. I don't think I had an issue with him. His first appearance of the season, didn't put a foot wrong. 3 out of 3 passing, 5 touches, a clearance, a tackle 1. Anything on Kleiny to add?
No, I'm just happy he got his appearance bonus.
I'm with you on that. And lastly, Justin Devaney similarly gave him a 6, 3 out of 3. Exactly, got the bonus. Didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he looks more comfortable playing in the middle. By the way, I mean, again, he can play the 10. I have no problem, but I would have no problem him playing in the middle if he has to. But let's lastly get to the manager. 10 out of 10 for both of us. 10 from me, 10 from you. I'll let you go first. I got a bunch of stats on him, but you go first on Glasgow yesterday versus Villa.
Tactics perfect. Pre-match conference perfect. Everything about him perfect. 10 out of 10. I'd give him 100 if I could. That's it from me.
That's it.
I hear you. I'll let you end it on this one.
Yeah. Listen, tactics set up great, subs great. I know people were complaining online about why didn't he bring on a sub for Sarr? He couldn't. The windows were done. People are like, oh, why is he not playing Eze? He doesn't like Eze. Again, you only get 3 windows. We used up all 3 windows. We did have an extra sub, but only way we could have brought him on would be because of a concussion protocol. So that's why we didn't get the chance to replace Sarr. And we still ended up getting a clean sheet with 10 men. Really, really good. Everything was great. Beats Emery again. So I got the stats here. Palace have played Villa under Glasgow 6 times. 5-0 win, 2-1 win, 2-2 draw, 4-1 win, 3-0 win, and another 3-0 win. He absolutely dominates Emery and dominates Aston Villa. We are unbeaten in the month of August. We did not lose a game. We had 6 games, 3 different competitions, won a trophy. He's been brilliant. And at the end of the match, post-match, he says it. The 3 words: can't sell Gahey. He's made it very, very clear that it just it can't be done. And by the way, the first loss Villa had at home in over a year. Glasgow was perfect yesterday, as was the performance. That's it for us for the play ratings. We'll be back. We'll be back obviously after the break for Sunderland play ratings. But obviously there's going to be lots of stuff going on with. By the time you see this, by the way, this will happen. We've already done the transfer show, etc. But thanks for all your support. Again, if you want to comment on the ratings, drop that below in the comment section. If you want your own ratings, I promise you I'll read them and I will comment on your ratings on the Villa game. Brilliant start to the season for Palace, through to the Conference League group stage, League Cup game coming up, and obviously 8th in the league. It's been a great start. Let's just back the manager, get some players in, and go on from there. But that's it from me and Louis. And until next time, up the Palace.